Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So last year, in 2024, I did book videos like, hey, here's what I read throughout the year. Except I did it in 6-month chunks, and I kind of just, pointed my camera at my computer and just slowly scrolled through. This time, I decided these are going to be monthly. They're going to be at the end of the month. And I have kept all the books that I have physical that I have gone through for the month of January. Kept them out of my storage so that, I have something visual to show you. But at the end, I will, of course, show you my screen, as I have decided to, instead of a Word document, kind of keep things in an Excel spreadsheet. With, of course, sort of having it laid out by title, the author, when I started, when I ended, the format, and then one section where I put a DNF if I did not finish it. Because in the month of January, there was 4, excuse me, good lord, 4 out of the 13 books that are on this list I did not finish. I will say what they are and kind of go over why I didn't finish them. So, first and foremost, for this year, I said I was going to get to it. I think when I was talking about, I don't know, it was in one of my videos, I said I was going to get to this. The second book in the Sun Eater series, Howling Dark by Christopher Ruocchio. I don't know if I have mentioned this before, but I had heard about the Sun Eater series through all of BookTube, and seen it popped up on Amazon a bunch of times, particularly Empire of Silence, the first book in the series. I tried 3 times to get through Empire of Silence. I put it down twice. It was the 3rd time I finally was like, no, I'm going to power through this. There is something to this. And I did eventually enjoy the book. Then I continued with the novella that's between books 1 and 2, The Lesser Devil. Well, sort of between them. Chronologically, sort of between them. The Lesser Devil, which I enjoyed a lot. I am glad I kept going, because this one is where the series picked up for me. I got through this in about a week. I guess I don't have to show my screen. I can actually just tell you how long it took me. And I really like this book. I thought it Christopher took things up a notch. I don't know if this was intended or not, but I definitely have a new sort of fear when it comes to combining cold machinery and warm human flesh. I now have a new fear when it comes to any of that, just because the descriptions he has for, the extrasolarians in this book, it's kind of somewhat similar. You can see here with Karn Sagara. I think I pronounced that right. And just some of the people that have, machine components built into them, onto them, are slaves to them, that sort of thing. Yeah. I have a new fear now. Great. Thanks, Chris. I don't know if you did that on purpose. I'd have to ask you over YouTube or an email or something, but, if you did do it on purpose, you succeeded. Of course, it also might just be described horrifically because we are hearing it through the eyes of Hadrian Marlowe, the main character, who doesn't really have a particular like when it comes to the extrasolarians and combining, man and machine technology. So anyway, following that, I have the audiobook BioShock Rapture. I don't have this physically, but and I'm not going to hold my phone up to the screen because it's going to fuck with my camera a lot. And also in case I get any notifications that come across my screen, I'd rather not. Anyway. So, Bioshock Rapture, it is sort of the backstory for Andrew Ryan and the building of Rapture, which I really like the first Bioshock game. I haven't really delved too much into the other two. I plan to at some point, but, you know, I have a crap ton of video games that I need to get to eventually, whenever that is. But it does give the sort of backstory of Rapture being built, and sort of how everything went to hell, and how we find things the way they are in the first Bioshock game. I could just kind of binge this in a night. I just took a night, sat, and when I needed to stay up, sat there, played Astrobot, and listened to the whole thing in one night. I was enthralled with it. Up next, I do not have physical because it is put in my Goodwill/church donation pile. The second book of Starship Gilead, Prodigal by John Graves. I DNF'd this one after about 4 days of reading it. And that is because a character does a thing that I assume is in service of either, you know, furthering his villain arc, or to later make himself think, man, I am a horrible fucking person. I do not know which of the two it was going to be. It does not describe what he does, but given the state of the person's clothing that it is brought in, that he is told to make suffer. It doesn't exactly paint a great picture. And while I am I'm not for what he does, or what I think he does, obviously. I do not think such a thing in fiction should be used just in service of furthering someone's character arc. I feel like there are a bunch of other things you could do. You are the writer of your world, you are God. That said, I'm not going to hold anything against Graves for it. Maybe I should, but I don't know the guy. And I don't know what he planned on doing with that character. So I DNF that book. I am DNFing the Starship Gilead series. It has been erased off my board, which I will show later. Moving on, the next DNF, I got 4 DNFs right in a row. The next DNF was Grave Beginnings by R.R. Verde. Again, I DNF'd after about 4 days. This one was audio. And, I started it around the same time as I started Starship Gilead. I usually got 3 books going at any one time. I have the physical book that I'm reading, I have an audio book going, and I have I call it a bathroom book. And that's the book that I just kind of sit in my bathroom and I sit and read if I read a few pages or maybe a chapter if I know I'm going to be in there a little bit. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But anyway, Grave Beginnings. It was an urban fantasy that started out fine. It did give me a bit of Dresden Files vibes, but, you know, way more snarky and sarcastic. And I think I got about halfway through the book, and I finally was just like, you know what? This isn't really connecting with me. I don't really know why. It just didn't. So I DNF'd that one. Next one that I DNF'd was Halo Oblivion by Troy Denning, which, how I choose to DNF books is I usually give physical books about somewhere between 50 and 100 pages, or until I get to something that I just object to. as I did with Starship Gilead. Or with audiobooks, I give it somewhere between 2 and 5 hours, roughly. With Halo Oblivion, I got about 125 pages in, and I was just like, you know what? I'm bored. Like, nothing's grabbing me here. Like, so I just, caught my losses with that one. And then the last book that I DNF'd was Assassin's Creed Desert Oath by Oliver Bowden. This one I DNF'd in about 2 days. I got about 50 pages in. It was the Bayek prequel novel, which I like Bayek as a character. I was just kind of bored. And it's first person, it was in Bayek's point of view, and it just wasn't grabbing me. I just wasn't feeling it. But with Bayek being one of my personal favorite assassins, I'm a little worried now if I went back and played Assassin's Creed Origins. It's like, am I going to be bored by this game? Or was it just the book? I don't know. I'll eventually get around to replaying Origins and see how I feel about it. But then up next, a book that really did grab me, so much so I did a video on it already. The Bourne Vendetta by Brian Freeman. I tore through this novel. I got through it in about 3 or 4 days. Started on the 18th, finished on the 21st. I tore through this book. I really like this book. Go check out my review to hear more on it. Then after that was the next audio novel, the third and final book of the Strain trilogy, The Night Eternal. I like the Strain trilogy. I think I like book 1 a lot more, just because it had that sort of, like, so vampires are obviously supernatural creatures to begin with, and kind of spoilers for the Strain trilogy. But what I liked about the original Strain novel was it had that sort of, it took, like, vampires and basically turned them into, like, a viral outbreak. And that sort of carries on in the fall, but then that's also where we kind of get the origins of the vampires. And we get it more so confirmed in this one with the whole, they were originally the 7 original vampires were the angel that destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. And it kind of went cuckoo bananas, got a thirst for blood, it was put down, split up, and the pieces of the body became the original vampires. Guillermo del Toro, I love your filmmaking. I love the worlds and visuals that you can create. You're kind of a weird dude at times, though. That just kind of was a weird thing in the series. But I still really enjoyed the book, and I'm glad I can mark that off my board as well. Then, up next, we had Star Wars Legacy of the Force Revelation by Karen Travis. This is the 8th out of 9 books of the Legacy of the Force series. I know I've been doing a series on the Star Wars Legends novels, but I'm going to hold off on talking about Legacy of the Force until I am finished with it, so one more book, and then I will be getting to these. I don't think I'm going to go unbury all the others in the series, so when I do talk about it, I'm just going to be holding up 2 books out of 9. But as with the rest of the series, I've had a lot of fun reading it. I'll give my full thoughts on it sort of later, whenever I get around to that video. Then next, we had The Children of Hurin by J.R.R. Tolkien, which, it's Middle-earth. This is a tragic book. If you know the story of Children of Hurin, you already kind of know how it goes. And that's pretty much all I got to say on that one. which reminds me, I did not really talk about times for the rest of these. Night Eternal, I got through in a couple of days, the 19th to the 21st. Legacy of the Force, I got through in about 6 days, the 21st to the 26th. Children of Ren, I got through in about 6 days as well, the 22nd to the 27th. And then next, another one where I could erase something off my board. A Master of Jin by P. Djeli Clark, part of the Dead Jin universe. I liked the original short stories that I read, A Dead Jin in Cairo, The Haunting of Tramcar, 015, I think is the title. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna need fact checked on that one. And both of those are sort of novellas. This one is the first, and for the moment only, please write more, Mr. Clark, if you are somehow watching this. Please write more of these. They're really good. I love them. This is the first full novel in the Dead Jin universe. I think you can find Dead Jin in Cairo, and I just learned recently there's another short story. I don't have the name of that one. It escapes me at the moment. But both of those can be read on Tor's website, whatever the website is now. I think if you just try to Google Tor.com, you can find their new website and look up the author, or just, look up the author and see what you can find. They're sort of alternate history, Middle Eastern inspired novels where in the late 1800s, somebody basically bored a hole into the supernatural world, and now, friggin' Middle East has, like, the Jinn and magic and a whole bunch of other stuff, and it's fun. I really like the world that P. Djeli Clark has created, and again, I hope he continues it. I am going to check out some of his other stuff in the future. Don't know when, but I am going to. Then, second to last, we have Batman, The City of Owls by Scott Snyder. I like Batman, and I've read some of Scott Snyder's stuff, particularly a couple of the volumes in Dark Knight Metal. I heard his take on Batman is just one of the best, and so I decided to give this a read, and again, it holds up as well as the first one. I am looking forward to continuing the rest of the series, which, by the way, I learned there's an entire another set of, like, an entire another run that takes place during the New 52 run, Batman Eternal. So I got 3 more to add to this. Fuck me. Or maybe not, because it's just more Batman for me to read. But either way, shit. Once again, I have this problem with comic books. And then last, but not least, we started the year and month with The Sun Eater. It is fitting we end January with The Sun Eater. And in this case, it is the second of the 3 novellas, Queen Amid Ashes by Christopher Ruocchio. Again, I got through this one pretty quick. It's short. I got through in about 3 days. Batman, I got through in like a day, and Master of Jin, I got through in like 4. But, again, I really like the Sun Eater series so far. This takes place between Howling Dark and Demon in White. It's from Hadrian's point of view. It's one of his initial missions as a knight, and I will stop talking there because spoilers. It's one of his initial missions. And yeah, that's pretty much the month of January. I am very much looking forward to continuing the Sun Eater even after this. Like, it's just getting better, I feel like. when I get around to Demon in White, which is, from my understanding, the chunkiest book of the series so far, at least until book 7 comes out. I don't know. But it's going to be fun. Actually, here, where is it? Okay, yeah. Yeah, so here's Demon in White. I haven't read this one yet, obviously. It's not on the list. But yeah, here's how thick this is. Like, it's shorter than Stormlight. And Stormlight usually takes me about a month. So, I don't know when I'm going to get around to this. But I will. I got a few others that I want to get to in the month of February. Particularly some that will knock more stuff off my board. Particularly, I want to get to this one. The Voyage of the Forgotten, the third and final of Legacy of Mercenary King. And now I'm just rambling at this point. But anyway, let's talk about the board. I promised to show the board. So, the board, as you can see, now has some empty space. Which, by the way, I'm gonna probably erase and rewrite this board. Just because the marker's on the bottom, and I didn't realize that at first. So, just so I can have it up top and not be annoying to deal with, I'm probably just gonna rewrite this. But yeah, we still have the Middle-earth series, Children of Time, which I do now have the second book, Children of Ruin on Audible, Assassin's Creed, The Vampire Chronicles, which will probably be the next audiobook I go listen to, Queen of the Damned. Pirates of the Caribbean, The Greenbone Saga, Dragon Age, Scott Snyder's run of Batman, Avatar, which I'm close to finishing Legend of Korra. I've got one more episode, then I can read that comic. And then I think there's like another comic from Legend of Korra that comes out in February. So, fun. The Legacy of the Mercenary King, The Hunted, Sun Eater, Bound and Broken, Reckoners, and Dark Knight's Metal. But anyway, that's all I got for this video. I am certain to see y'all in more videos, and I will see you for another monthly reading thing. Should be the 28th of February. I don't think we have a... Is there a 29th this year? I don't think there is. I think that would have been last year. Me not knowing this, haha. Yeah, so 28th. I will see y'all on the 20th of February for another one. For February's, books. Anyways, hope y'all stay safe, have a good one. May the good Lord bless you, and if that's not your thing, have a good day. Bye, guys.